Hello everyone, my name is Trevor, I go by the Mr. Trails, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be covering part 2 of Toddlers to Trials, where we'll be covering the early game once we've reached the elemental level behemoths. We left off on the main quest, Go Forth and Slay, where we are prompted to defeat a Skarn. With it came 2 side quests that we can knock out without having to leave Ramsgate, one from Granny Strega, our new potion dealer, and one from the middleman who will help make our cells stronger. The middleman's quest is to equip a cell into any piece of gear, which if you've been following along, you should be set to hand this quest in immediately. Just in case you haven't, you equip a cell by clicking on a piece of your gear in the equipment menu and then hit the No Cell Slot Equipped message and see what you can equip to it. While we're here at the middleman, let's go over the topic of cell fusion and cell dusting, as we'll see a lot of it in this video. The middleman's main purpose in Dauntless is to fuse your cells together. In his menu, clicking on the available button will pop up an interface of the cells we have so far. We can select any 2 cells of the same strength to fuse them into a stronger cell. There are a few different combinations of the cells that we can combine that will influence what cell is produced as a final result. Fusing 2 plus 1 strength cells will yield a plus 2 strength cell, and 2 plus 2 strength cells will yield a plus 3 strength cell. Plus 3 is the highest a single cell can get to in the game, but you can change the plus 3 that you have into another one by spending rams and placing the plus 3 cell in for fusion. Cells have 5 categories: power, technique, mobility, defense, and utility. If we choose 2 cells from different categories, the result can be any cell in the game. If we choose 2 cells from the same category, the result will be any cell of that category. And fusing 2 of the same cells will yield a stronger version of those cells. The middleman also sells you pre-crafted cells, which you can buy with real money, which you shouldn't do, or you can buy them by dusting other cells. In the middleman menu, click on the My Cells option to bring you into the list of cells you have. You can see on the right side of the menu, I can salvage the cells I currently have to be given Aether Dust, which we can use to buy the cells in the shop. It is important to know what cells can be dusted and which ones are worth keeping. I already made a video about the best cells in Dauntless, which you can find in the video description, and there will be a card at the end of this video that will take you there. You can see here that I dust a deconstruction cell that's a plus 3, which at the time was my only plus 3 that I even owned. This is because deconstruction is a bad cell that's use is so niche that I don't even consider it a legitimate use of the cell. We can get much more mileage off of the Aether Dust the cell will give us than what the perk can actually do. And we can do so because of the current store selection the middleman has to offer. The middleman is set to sell a plus 3 Rage Hunter, a plus 2 Overpower, and a plus 1 Iceborne to us. Originally, the store changed every week, but Phoenix Labs decided it was best to help newer players get some of the best cells early on. It's like they just did it so I could make this video better. So with what we've dusted, hopefully you should be able to afford a few Iceborne cells. Let's work on getting these started to fuse at the time being, as this is going to be a casual player's best friend. You don't gain any benefits from perks beyond plus 6 in that perk, meaning we'll want to fuse together a cell until we have 2 plus 3 strength of those cells. To get this done, you'll need a total of 8 plus 1 cells of that type, or 4 plus 2 cells of that type. Moving on, let's now head to Granny Strega, located in the bottom portion of Ramsgate off to the right of the entrance. She wants us to craft 2 Blitz Tonics and equip a consumable item. Head into her crafting menu and you'll be given the options to craft 1 or craft 10 of the potion you're highlighting, depending on how many of the needed crafting materials you have. You'll notice that just above these crafting buttons, you're also given the option to buy consumables with rams. This is something more for the late game players that have already had the time to play a lot of escalations, so for now, just collect the materials on the map since we need rams to upgrade our gear. To equip consumables, go into your equipment menu and at the bottom you'll see your health potions with some empty slots next to them. Click here and then click on any one of the consumables presented to you that you own. We have one more quick side quest available before we fight Skarn, and that's at the training grounds. Trainer Rosk wants you to deal some damage to the training dummies to show you the damage meter of the training grounds. This will show you how much of each damage type core, part, stagger, and wound damage your attacks are doing. It will also give you a damage per second indicator, taking the core damage you've dealt thus far and comparing it with the time that you've taken to deal that damage. From what I played around with, this isn't 100% accurate and tends to be off routinely around 5 to 10 damage per second. Many people want to say it's inaccurate because it doesn't refresh the display until you've hit the dummies, but it remains mostly accurate despite this complaint. But after doing these quick side quests, let's move on to actually fighting things. Skarn is a Terra behemoth that utilizes a rocky shield to protect its body from being damaged. The amount of HP the behemoths have gets upscaled greatly from the lesser behemoths, as Skarn will have around 42 to 43,000 HP when fighting solo. The key here is to try to focus on a section of armor to reveal the part, and then hit the part to acquire the part break. Be warned that the armor that's been broken will come back once Skarn enrages. And fighting Skarn will likely be your first encounter with the Enraging mechanic. Enraging is a mechanic that behemoths can utilize that offer them a different selection of attacks, or changing up the attacks that they already use, letting them dish out more damage in the process. With the Rage Hunter cells that we can get from the middleman and what's already built into our Gnasher gloves, we can also do more damage to the behemoths when they enter this state. Enraging is something behemoths tend to do once they've lost a certain amount of HP. Some behemoths will have a part break, stagger, or interrupt pull them out of this enraged state, so be aware of it when it happens. Once we have defeated Skarn, the next quest we have to do is City on the Verge, which gives us a few things to do. We slay a Shrike, we craft a lantern, and we meet with Admiral's Eye. This quest also unlocks a lot of other side quests as well. Katerin Sorrel, our future mentor and one of the original Slayers, wants us to meet the Scarred Master to learn about Aether Strikers. Speaking with the Scarred Master unlocks the Aether Striker weapon, as well as the quest to teach you how to use them effectively. We'll go over this once we've collected all of the quests we have access to at the moment. Archon Drew has a main quest for us to craft a Skarn lantern, which will satisfy the quest we have with Marcus Bohr as well. Meeting with Admiral's Eye, we unlock the Ostian Repeaters weapon, and we're given a quest for dealing damage with the Repeaters mechanics, as well as doing damage with grenades. As well as the next time I upgraded a piece of equipment, I unlocked a weapon mod, making Wills Borman give me a quest to equip a weapon mod. The Sword's first weapon mod is Mending Blade Core, which is mostly unused later on in the game, but playing through with it now makes me realize how good of an early game mod this is for sword mains. Gaining or spending Valor for healing isn't very helpful to experienced players, but for newer players this might actually make Sword the best weapon to start off with after the rework. Before our fight with Shrike, I went and dusted more cells and was able to get enough dust to run +4 Overpower before the fight. Overpower is up there with the best offensive cells in the game, providing one of the highest core damage boosts available, second only to the Savagery cell. The thing is, with the Savagery cell, you either need to be running a War Pike or the Acidic cell, or have someone on your team running War Pike or the Acidic cell, which makes Overpower the highest damage boost available to every weapon at any given time outside of those scenarios. Entering the Shrike fight, I have 4 Overpower, 3 Iceborne, 3 Tough, 2 Rage Hunter, 1 Etheric Attunement, 1 Conditioning, 1 Evasive Fury, and 1 Energized, looking even better now. I should note that if you're playing along with me and you're using another weapon, Energized is only really good on swords. But anyways, Shrike is a neutral behemoth with 48,000 HP that is our introduction to birds in the game. All birds have a swooping interrupt attack that is similar to the charging attack style of an Embermane. Defeating it will finish the City on the Verge quest and unlock even more side quests that we have to do. We unlock the event quests going on from Archon Drew and Dr. Priyani, which we won't concern ourselves with in this series. Wills Borman wants us to slay a behemoth with each of the 5 core weapons that he sells. And meeting with Dr. Priyani for the first time, we are given the quest to slay a Charrogg. Here, I decided to get some of these side quests done, so let's go over the Repeater and the Strikers quests. Strikers have a mechanic called the Mantra System. Gaining a mantra will change the hold special that's available to you. You gain mantras by completing the Striker combos: light, 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 heavy, heavy, and heavy, heavy, heavy. The 1 and 2 mantra specials are for sustained damage over time, while the 3 mantra special is meant for a quick burst of damage. The quest wants you to deal 5,000 damage with Adamant Bolt, the 3 mantra special, while Karma Breaker, the 2 mantra special, and Tempest Form, the 1 mantra special, are active. So to do this, we finish 1 combo, hold the special activation button, finish 2 combos, hold the special activation button, then finish all 3 combos and follow it up with a special activation hold. Your 3 mantra special will deal 50% bonus damage for each of the other 2 mantra specials that you have active. A general rule of thumb for strikers then is to always make sure you have your 1 and 2 mantra specials active. Next up, we'll take a look at the repeater quest, and repeaters may be guns, but they are not a ranged weapon. This quest tries to teach you this by making you deal damage with empowered shots and abilities. To empower your shots, you have to reload while standing next to the behemoth. This will make your shots do more damage, hence making fights with them faster. Repeaters also have a damage fall-off mechanic that tries to further teach you that they are not a ranged weapon. You want the reticle on your screen to be red, and if it is, you're standing close enough to the behemoth to be dealing maximum damage. While we're doing brief weapon guides, how about I talk about the core weapons while I do the side quests as well. War Pike is a methodical weapon that comes with piercing and harvesting attacks. The aim is to break more parts by using piercing attacks to inflict wound damage to parts. Once wounded, a part will take additional part damage, which the harvesting attacks from the War Pike are meant to help break them easier. Slashing attacks gain a slight bonus to part damage when hitting wounded parts, making War Pikes slightly more efficient for breaking most of the parts off of a behemoth than other weapons. Chain blades are a quick-hitting, low-damage slashing weapon that is very safe. They have their own unique dodge animation and will have more invincibility frames available than any of the other weapons. The best way to use them is to repeat the light heavy light combo and activate your Reaper's Dance special when needing to dodge. When you have the Boreas Chains Blade specifically, you want to use the Reaper's Dance special as an offensive tool. You can follow up the special with the light attack or the heavy attack, the light attack accumulating charges of Reaper's Dance and the heavy attack expending those charges. Use the heavy attack follow-up for maximum bonus damage once you've reached 10 charges. Hammers are the slow-hitting, high-damage weapons you imagine them to be, however their special system utilizes ammunition. You spend ammunition by heavy attacking. The most damage-effective use of such combo is to spend it on the Aether Slam portion of your combos. The Aether Slam is done by heavy attacking at the end of a 3 light attack long combo, and the Axe is the other slow-hitting, heavy damage weapon. Its special meter is charged by landing charged attacks, which is done by holding the first or third input of your combo. The most efficient combo is to charge light attack, charge heavy attack, heavy attack. When your meter is full, activate the special, landing the throw of an onslaught special or the reactivation slam of a Flight of Ruin will grant you Determination. Determination will upgrade your special meter, leading to all of your attacks dealing more damage. The sword now is a versatile weapon, either being a fast-hitting weapon or a slower-hitting weapon. The precise combos you should use on the sword can't be boiled down to an exact science. I've already made a Chain Blades guide and a Repeaters guide, and other guides dedicated to specific weapons will be coming soon. In the background here, I've been fighting Charrogg, a fire salamander with about 45,000 HP. He has flame jets he likes to shoot fire out of, and you can break its fire sacks to prevent fire from shooting out of them. But if you've been using a Boreas weapon so far as I have been, you might be able to kill it before it's able to do this attack. Upon beating the Charrogg, we now unlock patrols. Patrols will match you up with a random behemoth available in the patrol pool. A public patrol hunt can be made less random by players queuing for pursuit hunts, as the matchmaking is the same. We have 2 more side quests available, which I'm able to complete in 1 patrol hunt. Collect 2 Embermane break parts from the elemental version of Embermane and gathering some ingredients for Granny Strega. Before this hunt, I was blessed with a +3 overpower cell, getting our build cooking even more. I've traded in the tough cells for Iceborne, which, since I've reached a +4 in it, I now have access to the healing ability of the perk. It's actually kind of unnecessary for sword players. As I've said, Mending Blade Core is actually very good for newer players, but all other weapons can benefit from this source of passive healing. Iceborne, as I said earlier, is the casual player's best friend, basically allowing more casual players to be able to make it to later stages of the game. My suggestion is to learn how to fight the behemoths with Iceborne early, but if you feel like you want to take the game more seriously or have a bit more of a challenge, replace Iceborne and other defensive cells for offense. Next up, I found myself in a Blazin' Neutral Patrol for Katarin's quest. I've already fought the lesser versions of the behemoths I got, Embermane and Gnasher. Elemental Embermane has about 45,000 HP, whereas our Elemental Gnasher has 35,000 HP in solos. This quest, Into the Maelstrom, also wants you to upgrade a weapon and an armor piece of each slot into level 5, which we pretty much already achieved before this video even began if you've been playing along with me. And this quest is where we will end our video for today, and has opened up a slew of side quests to us to complete. We'll tackle those as well as a few of the main quests next time. Before we go though, if you have enough Aether Dust at this point to buy more Overpower cells, try to get an Overpower +3 cell cooking. Thanks to that lucky +3 Overpower cell that I got from opening a core, next time we check into this series I'll already have +6 Overpower on my build, which is pretty crazy good. I was also able to pick up a Rage Hunter from the middleman with all of the dust I had, giving my current build 5 Iceborne, 5 Overpower, 4 Rage Hunter, 2 Molten, which I got from a core, 1 Etheric Attunement, 1 Conditioning, 1 Tough, and 1 Energized. Again, a note about Energized, it's better off being Conduit, Etheric Attunement, or Etheric Frenzy on other weapons. Chainblades, Axe, and War Pike can make use of it, but it's not as good as if it were on Sword. And Repeaters, Strikers, and Hammers can't even use Energized, as it will have no effect. But this is a much better setup than I would have thought possible at this point in the game, as was the case at the end of last video. Tune in next time where we'll be slaying a behemoth that'll give us one of the top 1 or 2 weapons for both early and late game play, no matter what weapon you choose. Thank you all for watching. If you learned something from this video, consider leaving a like. If you enjoy Dauntless content, consider subscribing to the channel. Here I post Dauntless content every week. I've been Trevor, I go by the Mr. Trails, and I will catch you guys next time.